Oh wow, I just finished setting up. Oh my goodness gracious, is that a Leah Asimov stream raid? Wow. Oh no, Leah came. Welcome to the one and only. Yes. Sorry, we are. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of me before, but I am the Duel News Logs. What we do is we look at Duel News and we react to the Duel News. We also react to memes and things people send in. Basically, I'm very lazy, so I want people to give me content. This is the only way. Too much lab? What are you talking about? Is the event still live? I thought it'd be over by now. What tier list are we doing? Where's Floodgates? It is so ridiculously fun. Like, I have so much fun all the time, and I just, like, don't even know how to handle myself. I got it. It's four days left. Do we have a mod in chat to give Leah a shout out? Oh, we do. Oh my goodness gracious. Terabyte. Oh my god. Is that Luke Von Karma as part of the raid? He's probably left already. What's so funny is whenever I go over to Danny's stream and he sees my name in chat, he just immediately sighs. He's like, what do you want? I wonder why. I have no idea. I literally give him money all the time, and I'm so nice. I'm just like, hey, you're doing such a good job today. I love your streams. They're amazing and entertaining. And then he's like, ugh, I guess. Gives him money to try to get him to do things? What do you mean? I just give him money to support the show. I would never give someone money to make them do something they don't want to do. That is honestly disgusting behavior. I hate it when I see other people go into a streamer's chat and they think they can bully the streamer by just giving them money. Like, honestly, to be honest, if I'm being honest with you guys right now, because my middle name is Honesty. I forgot what I was talking about. Anyways, let's get to the Duel news. I forgot to get music for this.
I'm fine with killing people.
Fine with killing people. Like Dono for Neko Cat ASMR? What? What's Neko Cat ASMR? I've never heard of that before. Why is this the first thing that's up here? Oh my god, this is so hard to read. What in the Llamas with Cats soundbite? You guys have never heard of Rosemi-sama? Do something funny? Do you guys want to hear a joke? What did the mom corn... No, what did the baby corn say to the mom corn? She said, where's my popcorn? Don't forget the top 5? The top 5 what? Oh, right. Who were the top 5 for today's stream? Oh, wait. First of all, thank you for the $5, Leah. We have to acknowledge people who give us money first because they're more important. And then we go over to our top 5. Who were the first 5 people to get into the stream and redeem first? We have Roadhog Time 13 at number 1, who's normally in the top 5. Then we have Mirai Panda at number 2. Naren MP at number 3. Oh, Naren's the guy who does the AI covers for me. Then we have Rai Ramtho Free to Play at number 4. And then Cal Drek at number 5, who's a new one. Wow, someone new in the top 5. Was it because I was incredibly late to my stream today? Is it because I was supposed to start an hour ago? I have a good excuse. What was I doing? I think I was just on Leah's stream dueling her. I didn't think the duel would take that long, but I was already late by that point anyway. It didn't really matter. It was Leah's fault? No, I was already late at that point. Yeah, of course I'm... No, the thing is, like, in order to set this shit up, it actually takes a while, but it doesn't take that long. Like, it really does not take that long to set up the news and the memes. I was just doing something else. I don't remember what was, but it was work related, probably. If stream is neither late or not, they go live precisely the moment. No, you have to go live at the same time every day. You see, the reason you want to go live at the same time every day is specifically so that you build a habit of watching you. You know, you don't want to rely on people to find you entertaining for every stream. You want them to rely on habits because habits are easier to form. And if you develop a habit of watching someone at the same time all the time, then they are just going to tune in without thinking about it, even if you're boring. It's like a hack. It's one of those, like, you know, top 10 hacks for getting people to watch your streams more often. You just create habits in their brains so that you hack them. Yeah, it's the psychology. I went to college for psychology. I know these things. I'm a genius. Oh, I've been told I have to stop saying that because it makes me come across as incredibly unlikable. I am of average intelligence. So, anyways, it's time for Duel News. It's still kind of hard to read. First up, we have Stellar Nemesis Tifon Doomsday Star. It is a rank 12 generic materials. Like Zeus, it has 2,900 attack and defense, 100 less than Zeus. You can XYZ summon this card by using one monster you control with the highest attack during this turn or the next turn after your opponent special summons 2 or more monsters from the extra deck. Transfer its materials to this card. If summoned this way, you cannot normal or special summon other monsters for the rest of this turn. Whoa. And its first effect is, neither player can activate the effects of monsters with 3,000 or more attack while you control this XYZ summon card. And also, attack number 2, once per turn you can detach one material from this card, return one monster on the field to the hand. Wow, this literally is a Zeus counter. Like, if your opponent goes into Zeus, one monster, you control the highest attack during the turn. You summon any monster and then just go into this card and just like pop Zeus. Like bounce it back. But then you can't do anything else that turn. I guess it is a Zeus counter, but like, you know, you can't do anything else. Yeah, it's negative Zeus. I'm surprised they printed a Zeus counter like that. Well, we have more Zeus pilots at the very least. Hey, bitch. Oh my god, is that the Akumiaoi? I mean, hi. Hello there. It's good to see you. I haven't heard from you in ages. Next up, we have Tao, the Great Chanter. Yeah, it's been 10 years, exactly. So this one has, you can only use the 2 effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by that battle. With 1,200 attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one illusion monster in your graveyard, except Tao, the Great Chanter, special summon it in defense position. Also, you cannot special monsters from the graveyard for the rest of the turn, except for illusion monsters. Wait, if this card is sent to the graveyard, it doesn't specify how. That means if this card is milled or sent directly from the deck to the graveyard, you can special summon any illusion monster from the graveyard. That's really good. Holy moly. Thank you, Subdaddy. Oh, thanks for the gifted sub terabyte 79. You see, I don't have alerts turned on, and the reason for that is because... Oh, did anyone notice my my stream like description and stuff? I deleted it all. I was having a moment. I'm glad that's the only thing I deleted. Anyways, excellent card. I think this is based on something else. I'm pretty sure I had the other stuff. It's based on a monster. I'm pretty sure. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's based on an old school monster. That's neat. I thought that would be more interesting. It's Tao the Chanter from the OCG. Is it not a TCG card? Yeah, well, anythings. Next up, we have UFO Light. It's a level 8 fire illusion monster. Oh, another illusionist. 1 second. So, I forgot I can use this in order to point things out. Okay, I forgot what I was doing. Oh, right. You can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. Number 1, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects except during the battle phase. It has 1500 attack and it's level 8. This seems garbage. If this card battles a monster, neither player can be destroyed by that battle. Okay. Can't be destroyed by battle, I guess. During the end phase, you can draw 1 card and then banish 1 or more cards from your hand. And if you do, this card gains 500 attack for each card banished by this effect. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is a card that can be summoned off of UFO Turtle and then survives the battle phase, and then can draw your card during the end phase. And an optional effect to banish stuff. I don't know why you'd want to banish your cards for such a mediocre payoff. It's either player's end phase? Yeah, it's either player's end phase. So like the idea is you bring this out from UFO Turtle during your opponent's turn, you go into UFO Light, and then it survives the battle phase because it can't be destroyed by battle, and then you draw a card during the end phase. Okay, the battle phase stuff seems to be common effects for illusions. Oh, right, because the other card also has the effect where during the battle phase, neither player can be destroyed by that battle. It's like they can't destroy monsters by battle for some reason. I wonder why that is. Is it because they're illusions? So like they just don't deal any damage and monsters don't deal damage to them, but they can deal damage, they just can't die. Raigeki doesn't exist. Well, it can't be targeted by card effects except during the battle phase. Anyways, next up we have Card Scanner. Ooh, this one seems neat. Once per turn, you can declare 1 card type, monster, spell, or trap. Each player reveals the bottom card of their deck, and if they reveal a card of the declared type, they add it to their hand, otherwise they place it on top of their deck. Okay, number 2 effect. If this face-up card in its owner's spell and trap card zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can make your opponent place 1 card from their hand on the bottom of their deck. Ooh. Ooh, okay, so funny thing about this, you can declare a card type, and then each player reveals the bottom card of their deck, and if they revealed cards that declare type, they add it to their hand. So this does give your opponent a chance to also get a free card. However, there are a lot of cards in the game that let you stack the bottom of your deck specifically because, like, that's useless. And most of the time, they let you, like, when you reveal cards and put them back to the bottom of your deck, they let you pick the order you put them back at the bottom. It's usually such a superfluous thing because it almost rarely matters. But this would make it so, like, oh, you can turn that into extra advantage. And then if it's destroyed, your opponent loses a card from their hand. That's a pretty good floating effect. Like, not half bad. Smelly, stinky spider. Are you from Danny's chat? Anyways, next up, we have Seisho Ruten. We have a trap card. Someone said this is just a worse compulse. I don't know what this card does. Not the worst card in the world. No, it's pretty good. The card scanner is not half bad. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. Target 1 fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link monster on the field. Return that face-up monster to the extra deck. Then special summon 1 appropriate monster from either graveyard to your field based on the type of monster returned. If you returned a fusion monster, a monster with the same attribute as the returned monster. Synchro, a monster with a lower level than the returned monster. Xyz, a monster with a level equal to the returned monster's rank. Or Link, a monster with the same type as the returned. What the hell is this card? It's just a worse compulse. I guess in a mirror match, you might be able to actually get some advantage. It's like an advantage. It's a mirror match compulse. I am working on a list right now called like top 10 mirror match cards. And honestly, if this card had any kind of play, I might actually make it on there. Yeah, Compulse at Home. It's a more fun Compulse, but it only works on extra deck monsters. It doesn't even work on monsters that are not extra deck monsters. And it's also hard once per turn. How many broken cards so far? None. They're all garbage. Next up, we have Lament of the Immortal Bushi. All monsters in your graveyard become warrior monsters. Once per turn, during the end phase, you can destroy all monsters you control. Finally, after all these years, we have Immortal Bushi support. Immortal Bushi is a level 3 monster, which has the effect where, if you control no monsters during the standby phase and all monsters in your graveyard are warrior type, you can special summon it. It's kind of like Treeborn Frog, except harder to come out. I'm pretty sure that is the intended synergy of the card. However, if there are ways to take advantage of having only warriors in your graveyard, which is like one of the best types in the game, then I can see this maybe being useful. I don't know. Also, destroying other monsters in the end phase is beneficial to a lot of decks. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but like there are decks that can take advantage of it. Imagine if good, I have no idea. What if this card's on the field at the same time as Zombie World? What type do the monsters in the graveyard become? Good question, Rogue Hog Time 13. Excellent question. I wish that question was even gooder so that I could answer it. Next up, we have a Scapegoat, continuous trap card. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a non-token monster you control, you contribute one monster, special summon one Escape Sheep token in defense position. If a non-token monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy one of your tokens instead. No once per turns on this. So basically, if one of your cards is targeted by something, you contribute it and turn it into a token. And also, if one of your cards would be destroyed, you can save your tokens. What's with that phase meowing? Did you know Immortal Bushi? Yes, what does it cost? Immortal Bushi? Everything. In the meme review part, there's some memes about Immortal Bushi. You guys will be ecstatic by it. Also, I love this card. I can't wait for it to come to Duel Links. Master Duel, because I have a token deck that's super fun, and this would go into it. Next up, we have Ororio no Kamigami. Ori no Kamigami. Ori. What does Ori mean? Yeah, when this card was announced, a lot of people tagged me on Twitter for it for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why, though. Once per turn, you can toss a coin until the result is tails, and if you do, draw one card for every 2 heads. Each time either player tosses coins while this monster is on the field, its attack is doubled a number of times equal to the number of heads. Whoa. Each time either player tosses a coin while this monster is in the field, its attack is doubled. So basically, the first effect just allows you a chance to try to double its attack. And at only 100, you don't really want to double its original attack. You want to give it some kind of attack boost. Lots of people were suggesting Psychic Blade, and honestly, that's a good one, because it's a 2,000 attack boost. So you bring this up to 2,100, you get a single heads, and it goes up to 4,200. Another heads, it goes up to 8,400? I don't remember. I don't remember the previous numbers. Yeah, you can get to some insane values with this, and also potentially draw a card, but getting 2 heads in a row is kind of statistically unlikely. Just flip 10 heads in a row and draw 5 cards and over 10k attack? Yeah, pretty much. If only it was a dark machine. Right, if this was a dark machine, that'd be so much better. I didn't even think of that. So second coin toss? Yeah, second coin toss can increase your chances by a little bit. Okay, excellent card, Ori no Kamigami. I think kami means god or paper, right? So it's a paper gami, like origami? Kami Oshi, paper god. It means both? Okay. Next up, we have Tarai. Level 4, Earth Fairy. Oh my god, is this support for the Ishizu cards? It's paper, god. Wait, is it really called paper, god? Fear and hunger type cards? Oh, that's so funny. You can only use the effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is in your hand, you can target one face-up... Wait. Sorry, I got a text. If this card is in your hand, you can target one face-up card in your main monster zone that activated its effect on the field this turn, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card to the zone that monster was in. Wait, what? In the main monster zone that activates effect on the field this turn, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this monster to that zone that it was in. So it's like a worst Divicarnate. So like if your opponent activates, yeah, Kurikari, it's a worse Divicarnate. So Kurikari Divicarnate is a hand trap where you contribute all other monsters your opponent controls that activate their effects this turn in order to summon it, and it gains 1500 attack for each. And tributing is better than destroying for pretty much like all cards. And this one only works on one. And it has like the same condition. There's like no reason to play this over Divicarnate. Yeah, it's not a quick effect. This is a normal, basic-ass sorcery speed card. Sorcery speed is spell speed 1, of course. You guys should know that. Okay, we have 2 more things. We have Uyatsu Sumamuhime. Uyatsu Sumamuhime. Sumamuhime. Man, that is such a Japanese name. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets this card, or when this card is targeted for an attack, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Oyatsu token, which is a plant with 800 attack and defense. Oh, is this Black Garden support? Once per turn, when your opponent would special summon a monster, quick effect, you contribute 1 normal monster, negate the summon, and if you do, destroy that card. Whoa, tokens are normal monsters. This is a good card. It gives normal monsters a negate and summons tokens. And it also has 1600 attack. For those of you guys who don't know how Black Garden works, Black Garden has an effect where you can destroy all plant tokens on the field in order to special summon a plant monster from your graveyard that has an attack equal to the attack of those tokens destroyed. And the Black Garden token special summons 800 attack tokens. So Black Garden basically only summons cards from the graveyard who have attacks in multiples of 800. So 800, 1600, 2400, and what is it? 3200? I want to say that, but I don't know if that's the correct math. So this card having 1600 means it's a target for Black Garden's effect to revive it from the graveyard. Whoa, amazing. Next up, we have Invasive Alien Species IAS. Wait, Maple's in chat? Oh my god, I thought Maple hated me. I was talking to Maple today and she was like, man, you know, Logs, I don't care for you. And I'm like, fair. Is this an actual alien card? Invasive Alien Species? What is it, level 4 light? Yeah, this is an alien card if it's a level 4 light reptile monster. It says, you can only use the second and third effect of this card's name once per turn. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while there's a face-up card in your opponent's field zone. You're sorry, you're toxic. She always says she's toxic, but I've never once seen her do anything even slightly toxic. It's like one of those, you know, like church girls who's like, yeah, I'm bad. I stay up past 9 p.m. What? What are you gonna do about it? If there is a face-up card in your opponent's field zone, you can target 1 monster they control, destroy it, and if you do, this card gains 1000 attack. If this card is face-up in your opponent's field zone and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon it. Okay, that last effect's good. If there's a face-up card in your opponent's field zone and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon it. You can also destroy one of their cards and gain 1000 attack, and also cannot be destroyed by battle card effects while there's a field zone. So it goes up to 2600 attack, it's special summon from the graveyard. A thing to note is it does not banish itself after it comes back from the graveyard, which is very good. So if your opponent's playing any kind of field spells, this has so much goodness with it. Most of the time, you're probably going to have to rely on getting a field zone into your opponent's field zone. So it's like, it seems like a tech option. It seems like a very good tech option because you basically get it for free if you're able to set up your graveyard. But only if you know your opponent is playing a field zone, because it's not easy to set up your opponent's field zone. Especially since they have set rotation banned. Valiants can do it, I guess. But like, Valiants don't want to play this card, you know? Good against Runic? Yeah, there's like a counter card. It's a pretty good counter card, I'll say that. Because like, if you get this card into rotation, it's just free advantage every turn. Because it comes back for free and destroys a card for free. And also is very hard to out. And gets up to 2600 attack. This card's third effect is useless if the field spell is Necro Valley. I mean, yeah, floodgates are going to floodgate. Next, oh, that's it. That's all the duel news. Okay, guys. We have to be serious now. Serious for the meme review. Are you guys ready for memes? Let's go. We have Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2005. We have this... Oh, I gotta make myself smaller. We has, hi, I normal summon this card. It's your turn. Classic. And then we have... Oops. Why is this layer not locked? Give me a second. Why is this layer not locked? Okay. So, and then we have Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Triple special summon, Omni Negate, hand traps, your turn, our turn, 10k OTK duels. Because, you know, Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a little bit more that happens than just normal summoning one card. You have your hand traps, you have your triple special summons, you have your Omni Negates, you have your 10k OTKs. Like, you can easily get 10k damage on board and win in one turn. It's a little bit different from 2005 Yu-Gi-Oh! Is what we're trying to say here. And this meme is definitely relatable. Anyone who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Now and compares it to 2005 will be like, yes. It is especially like doing all these crazy tricks in gymnastics. Is a triple special summon referring to pendulums? No, actually it's referring to, I don't know, any meta deck. It's not referring to anything special. Yugi Boomer. Rainbow. Next meme. We have, oh my god, this one's great. This one's for the event. Sky Scourge, Invinciel, Anti-Lab, and Anti-Sky Tricker fans, Jinzo. So, we have Jinzo over here who has the effect where your opponent cannot activate trap cards, and trap cards effects are negated. And then this card over here, the Sky Scourge Invinciel, it has the effect. It is a level 6 monster at 2200 attack. You can't see because it's really small. And it has the effect where if it is tribute summoned specifically with a Dark Fiend monster, then it has the effect where your opponent cannot activate trap cards. So it's like Jinzo, but worse. However, it is Fiend type, so you can use it in the Fiend and Fairy event. So if you're playing in the event and you want to play an anti-lab deck or anti-sky Trickstar fans, wait, what? I don't know what this means. If you want to play anti-lab deck, you can use Sky Scourge and Vinciel because Jinzo was banned for being a machine type. This is the meme. Isn't Dekoseka better? Denkoseka is not a Fiend or Fairy and legal in the Fiend or Fairy event though, whereas Sky Scourge and Vinciel is. Wow, Invinciel, I wonder if it's supposed to be like Invincible. Where do you submit your memes? Like you guys make memes. I did look at the meme channel in my Discord server to pick something from there. I think I literally got one because you guys don't post Yu-Gi-Oh memes there. You degenerates. Next up, we have... Why is the TV static? Oh, okay, never mind. I was moving the news. Okay. Let's see. It says dueling book user. No synchro XYZ's pendulums or links. He says me. Okay, I will use one of my modern fusion or ritual decks. Oh, he's not happy about this. Fucking meta sheep and your bullshit decks. So for this, and for people who don't understand this one, if you go onto Dueling Book or even Edo Pro, they'll have like special rooms and you're allowed to add in like a little note. Like, hey, we're only playing fun decks. Hey, meta only because I'm trying to prepare for an event. Sometimes people will put like no synchros, Xyz, pendulums, or links because they want to play Dark Worlds. It's funny. One of the most notorious people who did this just play Dark Worlds all the time. But like sometimes they just want to play like a boomer deck, like Dark Magician or something. And the thing is, there are incredibly meta archetypes which only use fusions or ritual monsters. You could play Drytron or like Branded. Actually, I think Drytron has a single Xyz, which you kind of need, but you don't really need it. It's just very good for it. Yeah, okay, I'll just play Branded. Or like, I'll just play Necroz if this was 2015. What is a modern ritual deck that's good besides like Brandon? I guess Megalith is fine. Are there any other good modern ritual decks? Dogmatica? Yeah, I guess Dogmatica's okay. I wouldn't say it's good, though. Would you be interested in helping Kira organize her first ever non-meta tournament, like checking if the deck is event meta, not banned from entering? Excellent idea. Organizing tournaments is a huge pain in the ass, and I'm very busy. But maybe, I don't know. Have her hit me up. Next up, we'll go over to... It says, if you haven't noticed, I'm not a warrior, because Ecclesia, the Virtuous, is actually a spellcaster. You can't see it because it's very tiny. And then we have the Immortal Bushi. No, you're not, because he's Konami. Immortal Bushi, we went over this earlier in the news section, but Immortal Bushi is a brand new continuous spell which has the effect where all monsters in your graveyard are treated as warrior monsters. So this guy's saying, if you haven't noticed, I'm not a warrior, but this card makes you a warrior, so he is a warrior now. That's the joke. Next up. Labyrinth players, when they get the search and instantly activate Full Force Virus, Eradicator Epidemic Virus, and Dimensional Barrier. And he's laughing, and this is a picture of Hank Hill from King of the Hill in Hell. This was like a, he was having like a daydream. He didn't actually go to hell in King of the Hill. That is not part of his lore. Officially, Hank Hill has never been to hell. But this, I think he was thinking about propane in this image. I don't remember this exactly, but like, you know, he's laughing. He is like, ha 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 ha. I've activated all of my powerful blowout cards. However, I don't think Full Force Virus is a real card. Is it? Let me look this up. I don't remember that one. The Full Force Virus. It is a real card. Full Force Virus. Tribute one dark monster with 2,000 or more defense. Look at your opponent's hand. Destroy all cards they control to the third who have 1,500 or less defense. Oh, that's a good card. Oh, it was Peggy's Daydream. Oh, okay, that's what it was. I should play Full Force Virus. Excellent meme. Next one. Look at this. Go do a crime. They're giving a raccoon Eradicator Epidemic Virus. You know, I was talking to Leah the other day, and she's like, you should get a raccoon. I'm like, what? Why a raccoon? Apparently, some people keep them as pets. And that's a mood, I guess. I can't imagine... They have rabies? I think you have a better chance of getting rabies from like a bat than anything else, really. Was playing Trap Tricks, so ignored them anyways. The thing is, you can play the virus cards as long as you just play Crazy Box. Although it looks like Full Force Virus doesn't work with Crazy Box, because Crazy Box only has high attack. How can spiders give rabies? I have no idea. Anyways, next meme. This one is saying favorite ritual deck. Oh my god, you see, it's a statue, which means their favorite ritual deck is actually Megaliths. And then we have favorite synchro deck, True King of All Calamities. This person's probably a Leah fan. Anyone who's a fan of Leah probably understands this reference. Favorite pendulum deck, Card Games on Motorcycles. Okay, I don't get this one. How is that a pendulum deck? Favorite fusion deck? Oh, the Gem Knights. Favorite Xyz deck? A pink rabbit. Do they mean Melfi's? Is Melfi Rabby pink? I don't remember. It's because Jack Atlas is the main character in Arc 5 as well. Was he really? I didn't know that. I don't know anything about the Yu-Gi-Oh anime because it's I mean, not my prerogative. Xyz is a Melfi. Is Melfi Rabby pink? Melfi Rabby kind of sucks. I never use him, so I don't really have it memorized. Your favorite Link deck is Kid Kolos? Probably Tri-Brigade. And then my favorite deck that uses none of these summoning types, I'm in Danger. Oh, they like Dangers? Dangers are like a Link deck, though. I guess they technically don't have any Danger boss monsters. Like any animal, raccoon, or bat. only gets rabies from other wild animals, so as long as you're not taking home a wild one and getting them from a breeder or shelter, you're probably fine. Still recommended, though. You can't really teach them not to be a nuisance and use the bathroom everywhere. I didn't know you couldn't potty train them. Right, I just know they're not like a normal domesticated animal, so there's probably problems in that front. I didn't really think of the ramifications too well. Also, I know you won't get rabies from like a freaking sheltered one. You only get them from wild animals, and the chances of getting one are just higher from like a bat, from what I remember. Reading Wikipedia articles on it late at night one day. Next up, we have Raw Spear Mode, my opponent's full board of monsters. Look, this opponent's full board of monsters is so scared, and this is an orangutan on a bicycle, which doesn't really make any sense. I don't think they can ride bicycles. But you see, for those of you who don't know, Raw Sphere Mode is a card which has the effect where you contribute 3 of your opponent's monsters to summon it to their side of the board. And it does not start a chain and use your normal summon. So basically, you can just get rid of any 3 of your opponent's monsters as long as you have your normal summon available. So that's why my opponent's board is running away. However, this is inaccurate, specifically because you can't respond to Sphere Mode, so there's no chance to run away. So it just happens. You just sit back and accept it. Thanks for the sub, Dolphin Fed. Oh my god, yeah, it's called an inherent summon. Or just like a built-in summon. Although it doesn't special summon, so it doesn't really fit under those definitions. Sorry, I have to get a cough drop because my throat's starting to hurt. Okay, next meme. So, low-level Dragon Maids. We have the Sonic trio here. We have Knuckles, we have Sonic, and Tails. And then when they turn to the high-level Dragon Maids, whoa, look at this. They've got... This isn't the Sonic trio. That's not even a hedgehog, that's a wolf. That's also a wolf. This is a wolf too. These are all wolves, but they are the same colors as the Sonic trio. So basically, the Dragon Maids are a series of girls who are maids. However, they're actually dragons, so they transform into big, beefy dragons during the battle phase. This is showing the Sonic trio becoming big, furry wolves, I guess. Next up, we have Lament of Immortal Bushi, which, as we've discussed earlier, changes all monsters in your graveyard to warriors. And then we have Infernoble Emperor Charles, who is like super happy about this. He says, Infernoble players realizing that all fire monsters in the game are about to become Infernoble support in the graveyard. Oh my god. Because Infernobles have effects where they interact with fire warrior monsters specifically in the graveyard. So now every single fire monster is going to become a warrior and viable targets for the Infernoble Knights. However, fire monsters kind of suck, so I can't really see like that being a big deal. Volcanics? Volcanics more like poo panics. This one is Bistio Lubellion saying, what is my archetype's purpose? And he says, you act as a better DD Crow, search the most supported type in the game, can be splashed in for easy Link, Synchro, and Xyz plays, or you can just straight up be the overwhelming control deck the Blue Eyes wishes it could be. Also, you F up Albaz and Tier Limit decks while also supporting them. And he says, oh heck yeah. Normally, this is a subversion of a meme. Normally, this meme's like, oh no, my purpose sucks. But actually, the Bestials are pretty good. So like, yeah, we're good. Next up, we have if a series of monsters have numbers in their names, then their levels should match that number. And then Walter White says what? And then he says, think about it. Cyber Dragon Zui and Dree are level 4, but Zui should be level 2 and Dree should be level 3. I don't know if those are like numbers in German or something. It says Valkyrie Airstare should be level 1, Valkyrie Zuit should be level 2, and Drete should be level 3. Yosenju's 1, 2, and 3 should be levels 1, 2, and 3 respectively, and so on. And he says, Jesse, WTF are you talking about? Apparently, I didn't even know this was the case. Apparently, there are some cards who have numbers in their name based on other languages. People in chat are saying German. And they're not the same levels as the numbers in their name. The only ones that are in English are the Yosenjus. There are cards called Yosenjus 1, 2, and 3, which are not levels 1, 2, and 3. Numbers in German. I have a good question. Why do tier elements Scream still reduce attack power of unaffected monsters like Cyan, Punisher, or DM under the effects of traps, even Ultimate Falcon? Excellent question. It does not work in Ultimate Falcon. It only works on cards which are immune to activated effects, and Ultimate Falcon is absolutely immune to Scream. Why is Tahoe number 2 not level 2? I know, right? Manju of the 10,000 hands? Yeah, Manju of the 10,000 hands should be 10,000 level. Dude, that would break so many rules. Because there are so many cards in the game who have like effects that like give you benefits based on the level of monsters used. So if there's just a random 10,000 level monster, I don't think it would break the game, but it would definitely allow for some funny combos. 10,000 Dragon who's actually got question mark for attack. That's because his attack becomes 10,000. Anyways, then we just be MTG. No, even MTG doesn't really break that rule. I was recording an MTG video a while ago, and it was going over like meme cards. And one of the meme cards had a mana cost of 1 million. And they're like, this could never be in the real game because they cap mana at like 16. There's no cards that cost more than 16 mana. And the reason they do that is because some cards interact with the mana of a card to deal damage. So if there was like a card that cost 1 million mana, then they could like deal 1 million damage with that card. So like they cap it at 16. Like there's no cards that cost 20 mana, for example, which is how much life you start with in Magic. And the same thing is true for levels. There are cards that like just interact with levels in the same way, where they're balanced around the fact that cards normally don't go above level 12. Ooh, Mogu's live. I don't get why, since they already have infinite damage combos. It's so that you don't have like a random 2-card combo that does it. Anyways, next up we have a fake Twitter post. Konami has effing ruined Yu-Gi-Oh! And he says, they took my butt. I can't poop. I censored it for you guys. You're welcome. So what this is indicating is that if you look real closely, you can see he has a bit of a butt crack. However, they removed it in the censored version. So he's saying, they took my butt. I can't poop because you need it in order to defecate. He was censored. So he's angry about it. Yeah, he got no dumpy. Reason the Yu-Gi-Oh community is awful, number 78. You all know exactly which cards these are. This is the Trap Tricks Rafflesia. This is Master Monk Fighter. This is Amazon is Queen. This is Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Left and right foot of Exodia and Kurikari DB Carnet. Did I get that correct? You only know 3 of them? Joyous Feet, I only know the top left. Wow, Logs knows this me. I just know every card in the game. Skull for the Skull Throne? Hell yeah. You're a Yu-Gi-Oh player? Name all card feet. Someone should set this to Leah and ask her if she can recognize them. I'm playing chapters right now and had to double check when you said that. I think it's Rafflesia. I'm pretty sure that one's Rafflesia. Of course, Logs knows them all. I know every card in the game. Of course I know these ones. This is easy. Like, give me a harder question. It is Rafflesia. Yeah, see? I got it. She's the rank 4 Xyz who can activate trap cards from the deck as her effect. She was, like, really good. She was, like, a staple end board piece for a long time. Because, like, back in the day when rank 4s didn't really have, you know, interruption, she was, like, the only generic interruption that existed as long as you played, like, at least one normal, trap hole card in your deck. And people were playing bottomless trap hole just, like, normally anyway. As long as they're genius, of course I am. This is too easy. This is easy mode. Like, give me something harder. Give me harder feat, and then I'll like, you know, struggle a little bit. Which card's the top 5? I just talked about it. It's Trap Tricks Rafflesia, the rank 4. Well, like the first rank 4 they had, not one of the new ones. Okay, next one. We have me getting hyped for newly revealed cards in upcoming set. Wow, he's so hyped. Me waiting months for it to get released in the TCG. Oh, he's sitting there waiting, just watching the clock. I get this. I want to play the new paper God card. This is relatable. This is me IRL. Have you guys ever heard of the subreddit called Me IRL? It's literally a subreddit dedicated to memes about just like saying, haha, this is me IRL. And you show a meme and it's like, yes, this is me IRL. It's usually about depression memes though. Usually like, haha, this is a meme about me hating myself. Yep. Like, haha, this is me about not leaving my house for 3 days at a time. Next up, we have stop giving me your toughest battles. He's so dejected. He's so, like, you know, done with life over here. And then we have the J-Man, the Jesus. He says, you literally just have to play through one Ash Blossom. This is probably a rogue deck. Someone's pet deck. So, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, your deck is not considered good if you can't play through one Ash Blossom. However, Ash Blossom is still good because it's like, you know, a key disruption that can stop a lot of plays, especially if you know when to use it. And that's why this guy is so dejected. He's like, please, J-Man, stop giving me your toughest battles. And he's like, you literally just have to play through one Ash Blossom. If you can't do that, then die. This is an excellent meme. I love this one. Especially since it has my Kamiyoshi. Next up, we have Aquaman. He says, I see it now. He says, rituals, spirit monsters, unions, the multiverse of main deck subtypes, the tuners, the pendulums. He says, out of all of them, I'm the lamest one. And he's Gemini. Because he's saying that Geminis are the lamest main deck subtype. Which, honestly, is pretty true. Like, spirits are pretty bad as well, but there's some bombing new spirit support that just kind of ignores their mechanic. They're like, hey, you know how we can't special summon? What if we just, like, give you an extra normal summon from the hand every turn? For free. You're like, okay, that's pretty good. Geminis, what do? They're normal monsters, and they need an extra normal summon. Funny thing is, there are actually some really broken Gemini monsters that are balanced by the fact that they're Gemini monsters. The problem is that 90% of Gemini monsters are not that good. They're garbage. If we had more cards like Gigaplant or Illblood, yeah. Then people would be like, whoa, Geminis are like, you know, they need to be a Gemini monster, otherwise that effect's gonna go crazy. But most of them are like Neos Alias, where like their name just becomes Neos. Actual garbage shit. Or just like, hey, this card has subpar stats, but if you Gemini summon it, it has above subpar stats. It's still not good, but like it has better stats if you invest in extra normal summon. And your normal summon in Yu-Gi-Oh is very incredibly valuable. Chem Critters, one of them special summons 2 monsters from the deck, which is pretty good. But they're level 2 monsters, which was supposed to be a detriment until Sprites came out. Now that I'm thinking about it, you can probably play Sprites Chem Critters. Neos Alias is an SR and MD. It's a scam. It's an SR? I thought it was a UR. The Ancient Gear Gemini monster literally just gains the normal Ancient Gear effect. So, funny story about the Ancient Gear Gemini monster. Back in the day, there was only one level 4 Ancient Gear monster, and it had 1300 attack. It was garbage. So when they released the Gemini Ancient Gear monster, it was actually good. It had 1800 attack and was level 4, because Gear Town has an effect where monsters, like, you know, use one less tribute. So you want, like, easier cards to get out. Gear Town should not be relied upon to play your, like, level 5 and 6 Gear Town monsters, which they didn't really have any good ones. All of the good Gear Town, like, Ancient Gear monsters are level 8. So you wanted single tribute monsters to get on the field. However, all of the level 6 and lower Ancient Gear monsters were garbage. And then they released an 1800 attack level 4 Ancient Gear monster. And it wasn't half bad. Basically, by process of elimination, because all the other Ancient Gear monsters were so bad, the Gemini was actually not half bad. Specifically because it had the Ancient Gear name and it had 1800 attack. Later on, they finally released more support that gave them useful, you know, level 6 or lower Ancient Gear monsters. But for a long time, the Gemini Ancient Gear was one of their better cards, which is hilarious. Next up, we have Concede Game 1. How about you go concede your life? Let me explain this to you guys. Victory Dragon is a banned card, and it has the effect where it has 2400 attack, and you can only normal summon the card by tributing 3 dragon monsters specifically. And if it declares specifically a direct attack and makes your opponent's life points go down to 0, then you win the match. Which means if you use this on game 1, there's no game 2 because the entire match is won. So there is no game 2s or 3, and it automatically wins other games that you didn't even do yet. It is the only match order that's legal because they give this effect to a lot of prize cards that have effects that say they can't be used in real duels. This is the only legal version of that effect. And the reason this is decent is because it's really easy to gain like a Saki win in game 1. And then Yugioh is balanced around the side deck and like a games 2 and 3. So if you just like stall out until you eventually get 3 dragons and summon this card and win because you're like in such an advantageous game state, it can kind of allow you to steal some games. Like they had some no ban list tournaments in the OCG, and some people were actually playing Victory Dragon Turbo decks just because being able to steal a game 1 is not that hard. And only because the OCG has an extra rule where you're not allowed to surrender. You have to like play until someone hits 0 life points. So in the TCG, you can surrender whenever you want. That's why he has a gun and he says, concede game 1. Psh, 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 psh. How about you concede your life? Because he's indicating like, don't quit because my effect is useless if you're able to surrender. If you can surrender, then my effect doesn't do anything because you can just... The way to counter Victory Dragon is if you see it's about to be set up and they're going to attack, you can just quit. You just be like, okay, I surrender, and the duel's over, and you go to game 2. So the effect will never have a chance to resolve correctly. So MD is unbalanced from the spider itself. MD is unbalanced? Yeah, it's incredibly unbalanced. Next up, we have... Oh my goodness gracious. So this is Labyrinth, Lovely Lady of the Silver Castle. And in the background, you can see Lightning Storm. And this is a picture... This is her drawn in a style of Aqua from Konosuba, which is an anime. You see Aqua in this anime is comically getting into situations where, like, bad things are happening to her and she cries a lot. But she's a god and she has like super high defense, so she's fine. She's not in any real danger of dying, but she does complain a lot. So it's showing Lovely Lady complaining a lot in an Aqua-like style with lightning storms in the background. She says how it feels to currently play Labyrinth because everybody's playing anti-Labyrinth cards, which is Lightning Storm. And Lightning Storm is a really good one for this picture, not only because it has like a good background for this, but because Lightning Storm is just a very good counter to Labyrinth specifically. Because Lightning Storm has a modal effect, modal, where you can choose to either destroy monsters or back row. And if you don't face against Labyrinth, then Lightning Storm is also just useful against other non-Labyrinth decks. So it's also destroying stuff, but it's also just useful against Labyrinth. Oh yeah, there's also Harpy's Feather Duster in here too. I didn't even notice that. This is very well done. I think they drew in the Harpy's Feather Duster, and obviously they drew the Lovely Lady. She's this girl is a very popular character for fan artists. Such culture inspired from the art of the Western style. Wow. Just play Red Reboot. You can't play Red Reboot in the TCG, but you can in Master Duel. But the thing is, like, even then, Lightning Storm is better because it's useful against more decks besides just Labyrinth. And it's also useful versus Labyrinth. Okay, I think that's the last meme. Okay. Man, my throat hurts. Okay, guys, that was the memes. I need another cough drop because wow, does my throat hurt. I'm not sure why this hurts my throat so much. Thanks for the sub, Burblets. Hi, Meme Logs. Hello there. I'm the Meme Logs. What's today's tier list? The tier list is worst floodgates. First, you summon Cyreflex. Man, I have a lot of instances on this screen. Ghost time? No, I'm a spider. Worst is S tier good? I'm not sure how this is supposed to work. I guess we are looking for the worst of. So S means it's really bad, yeah. Okay. So. I forgot what I was doing. Oh, I think I was gonna do this. Currently... worst floodgates. Crap. I think it was fine and I'm messing it up. Whatever. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Being bad is good for this list. So we're looking for the worst floodgates. First up, we have Ancient Gear Cannon. You contribute this card to inflict 500 damage to your opponent's... Wait 1 second. I gotta sneeze. Okay, never mind. Okay, first up, we have Ancient Gear Cannon. You contribute this card and inflict 500 damage to your opponent, and if you do, neither player can activate trap cards during the battle phase this turn. Wow. That's so good. But how good is it? I think that's too good. We'll put this in B tier of awfulness. Next up, we have Armageddon Designator. It stops evenly matched, I guess, but you have to tribute the card. That's pretty bad. So this card has the effect where you can banish one card from your hand, and neither player can activate cards or effects of cards with that name for the rest of the duel. So if you banish an Ash Blossom from your hand, your opponent can't use Ash Blossom for the rest of the duel. It's amazing. It's actually super bad. But is it worse than Cannon? I don't think so. I think Cannon is a pretty good indicator of B tier. No, I think they should go right next to Cannon. They're both awful. Mischief of the Gnomes on this list is actually good. Too good for this list. Hold your horses. We're still going through these cards. Next up, we have Aurora Paragon. Neither player can special summon monsters. When another monster is normal summoned to either field, destroy this card. This card does have a combo with By Order of the Emperor, where if a card has an effect that activates when it's normal summoned, you can negate it and then draw a card instead. Which does allow you to keep this card on the field, so it's basically just a barrier statue. But you do need a very specific, basically unsearchable 2-card combo, because it doesn't have Monarch in its name, so you can't search with Monarch support. But even then, the prevention of special summons is pretty good, but they can get rid of it by just getting a normal summon out. Thanks for the bits, Yugioh. I'll put this one in D tier because it's really not that bad. No, wait, C tier, because I just saw there's a barrier statue on this list, and that should be in D tier, because that's pretty good. Next up, we have Barrier Statue of the Abyss. So the only reason this is on here, this card has the effect where neither player can special summon monsters except dark monsters. Dark is the most plentiful type in the game. So out of all the barrier statues, this one is not the best, but it's still a good Floodgate. So we're going to put this in D tier. It's too good to be on the worst of list. Next up, we have Calming Magic. So this card can only be activated at the start of the main phase 1, during the main phase and battle phase of this turn, and neither player can summon monsters. So thanks for the 10 gifted subs, anonymous gifter. This card does stop summons during the main phase and battle phase, but it's only during your turn because it's a spell speed 1 card. It has sorcery speed. It's not quick effect. So unless you have a way to copy this card's effect from like the graveyard or something, there are ways to copy the effects of cards, but to my knowledge, there's no way to copy the effect of a normal spell card during your opponent's turn. Start main phase 1 like Extravagance. This card can only be activated at the start of main phase 1. I didn't even see that. Dang, this card's so bad. During the main phase and battle phase of this turn, neither player can summon monsters. The thing is, if your opponent's playing like Tearlaments, I guess, or Flu, yeah, it's a Flu counter. You can stop your opponent from summoning during your turn. However, it only works during the main phase and battle phase, though. So, like, they can just do their stuff during... Well, the thing is, they would probably do it during the draw phase or standby phase anyway. But if they don't, then they have to chain it to this card's effect. So you can actually stop some summons. The problem is that it affects both players. Neither player can summon monsters, not just your opponent. Does it need to be set first? No, it's like Pawn of Extravagance, where you just use it here at the start of your main phase 1. This card is awful. This card is so bad. I think I'm going to put it in S tier. I cannot think of a situation in which you'd want to use this card. Yeah, totally S tier. This is an S tier awful Floodgate. You ever got Poisonous Winds? Poisonous Wind is good. Why would it be on here? Next up, we have Chai Sai the Ghost Stopper. Neither player can activate the effects of spell traps in the graveyards. If this card is sent from your field to the graveyard, target a spell trap in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. The Bell card? So basically, it prevents both players from activating the effects of spell or trap cards in the graveyard. Funny thing is, there's actually a lot of spell traps that have effects in the graveyard. Like, pretty much all modern archetypes get at least one that does something from the graveyard. So it's a lot more useful than you'd think. I'm going to put this one probably next to Aurora Paragon. It's not as useful as the Barrier Statue, but it's not that horrible. In easy D tier, I think this is probably like Aurora Paragon tier. Yeah. Next up, we have Cuban. This one, excuse me. This one is, you roll a 6-sided die. Neither player can normal or special summon monsters at the same level as their result. So the effect is permanent. But you can keep rolling in order to try to get the level that you want to stop. So like if you're playing against Sprite and you roll a 2, this is a really good Floodgate. If you're playing against like Tearlaments and you roll a 4, not half bad. It's either an A or an S. Yeah, the thing is, if you get lucky, it's not half bad, but, you know, if you get lucky and only not half bad. It's not even like a blowout card. It's a soft once per turn? Yeah. I'll put this in B tier. Next up, we have... Wait, why is DD Borderline next? Why isn't it going to the Synchro Monster? Whatever. DD Borderline has the effect, while there are no spell cards in your graveyard and neither player can conduct their battle phase. So, keeping your graveyard spellless is a little bit difficult when the card itself is a spell. So, like, if your opponent destroys this card, then your other copies of DD Borderline are no longer usable. However, I kind of want to add this to my life point game meal deck now and just remove all the spell cards as a way to stall DD Borderline. Oh my god, an evenly counter. You cannot conduct your battle phase. Honestly, I don't mind this card. The problem with this card, the reason it can't be played in decks, is because most decks play spell cards. Spell cards are very good. Pretty much every deck relies on spell cards to do their plays. That's why spell card floodgates are so good. So to not have to play floodgates in order to get this, you would be giving up a lot of like consistency. But it's still not half bad. I'm gonna put this next to the barrier statue. I'm gonna move this over here. Next up we have, oh, there it is. Dark Highlander. Okay. So, Dark Highlander has the effect where neither player can synchro summon. It also has incredibly specific materials where it requires one fiend type tuner plus one or more non-tuner fiend type monsters. Oh, just fiends? Oh, that's not so bad. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls that is equipped with an equip card. It destroy all equipped cards equipped to that monster, and if you do inflict damage to each card destroyed. God, this card's awful. It's an anti-equip card, and it stops synchro summons, and it is a synchro monster, and it has very specific materials. This card is hard to bring out. It has a super specific floodgate, and it has an awful effect. But I guess if you're playing a fiend deck, and you know your opponent is playing synchros, that is a decent floodgate. I'll put it in C tier. It's not that bad. You know, considering Resonates can bring it out. Yeah, it was banned in the Synchro Festival too. Well, yeah, I bet. Labamir. I was thinking about Labyrinths too. Labyrinths do go into it. Fun story. When I was 11, I knew nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh! I stole a Dark Highlander that was included in a book fair Yu-Gi-Oh! Book at my school. I still have it to this day. You stole a Dark Highlander? Well, they were lucky to get rid of it, I guess. Hello, Chan Hero. Oh my god, is the Crypto God. Okay, I bought this book fair manga. Book fair manga with Dark Highlander? Wait, did I tier it? Yeah, I did tier it. Discord. Oh my god. Hey, it's Discord. Google, what's Discord? Google, what's Discord? Oh, now you're not working. This thing spies on me all the time and turns on randomly, but when I actually ask it a question, it doesn't say anything. Anyways, it's a trap card. Neither player can synchro summon, and you send this card to the graveyard during the third phase after activation. So it's just a... Oh, it's Hey Google? Hey Google, what's Discord?
According to Wikipedia, Discord is an instant messaging and VoIP social platform. Users have the ability to communicate with voice calls, video calls, text messaging, media and files.
Not that one.
Or as part of communities called servers. A server is a collection of persistent chat rooms and voice channels which can be
Hey Discord, what's
links.
Discord? No, hey Google, what's Discord the Yu-Gi-Oh card?
On the website db.yugioh-card.com, they say, Discord. Neither player can synchro summon. Send this card to the graveyard during your third end phase after activation.
Thank you.
To find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
Now, okay, so anyways, if anything, I wish all floodgates had a timed when they would go to the graveyard eventually. I think this would balance so many more of the floodgates because fundamentally floodgates slow the game down. And when a game is slowed down, eventually you'll get to a point where they have to destroy themselves like this one does. Yeah, or maintenance costs. Yeah, all floodgates should have a maintenance cost or like a self-destruction effect like this one. However, it's too balanced. We'll put this in C tier with the other garbage cards. It's not that bad. Next up, we have Fallen of Argorios. It's a level 2 Thunder monster. If a level/rank/link 2 monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand to either field. You can only special summon Fallen of Argosius once per turn this way. Neither player can activate the effects of link monsters that point to this card. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target one Xyz monster on the field, detach 1 or 2 materials from it, and you can use this effect of Fallen of Argosius once per turn. So basically, if it's summoned to a zone that a link monster points to, its effects are negated. Walmart spray. This card is rough. As far as floodgates go, it's not very good. Yeah, giving your opponent link materials. But you can still just special summon it from your hand. Like, if you just ignore the floodgate and just treat it as like a situational card, it's decent. Like, if you ignore the floodgate, the card itself is fine. It special summons from the hand, which is really good, actually. We'll put this in D tier. Specifically because if you ignore the floodgate, a card that summons itself from the hand this easily is still good. Most of the other cards don't special summon themselves, so like they're much worse. Like Aurora Paragon, the Monk, the Cuban, they all require your normal summon. This one doesn't, which is why it's better. You can special summon such a good floodgate. The best part about it is not the floodgate. Yeah, exactly. Like, the other cards can't say that. Like, Highlander is a garbage synchro monster. Like, all the other cards are garbage. Like, you can't bring them out easy. They don't have special summon conditions. This one does, which makes it infinitely better. Like, I don't think you guys really understand just how unplayable most cards in the game are. Because modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is all about special summoning, like, as much as possible. And since most cards can't do that, most cards are just garbage. Like, they're just so power crept. I think that's what pendulums were trying to fix. They're like, we know the game is to a point where it's too fast, and if the cards can't summon themselves from the hand, then they're garbage. What if we use pendulums to fix this problem? But the problem themselves is pendulums are also just inherently flawed. Next up, we have Fraud Freeze. Rush duels? Oh, your rush duels are so boring. Okay, so what we have here is a continuous trap card. Once per turn, when your opponent special summons a monsters from the hands, except for the damage step, you can return to the hand all monsters your opponent controls that were special summoned from the hand. If neither player controls a Flower Guardian Synchro monster, send this card to the graveyard. It's a floodgate that returns special summon monsters from the hand back to the hand. That's a good effect. The problem is you have to have a Flower Guardian Synchro monster in the graveyard to use it, which is awful. The floodgate's not half bad. It's just like, I think we'll probably put this one in A tier. That's really bad. Like, I don't think even Flower Guardians want to play this card. It's an anime anti-pendulum card. Is it? What's a Flower Guardian? Flower Guardians are like a solitaire deck. Their deck is like the most xenophobic deck that exists, where you can only play Flower Guardian decks in your deck. You can't play other cards. So you can't play hand traps, you can't play consistency pieces, you can only play Flower Guardians. That's probably why they give them a Floodgate. But this card doesn't have Flower Guardian in its name, so it's useless. Imagine side decking this card against a Guardian player. Exactly, like this card only exists to like, I don't know. You could play Exodia pieces. You could, I guess. Why does it allow them to have one? I have no idea. Yeah, Flower Guardians are literally a solitaire deck. Like, if you want to be annoying, just play Flower Guardians. Okay, anyways, terrible Floodgate. So, excellent for this list. Next up, we have Giant Starfall. Neither player can activate the effects of monsters without a level in response to this card's activation. Target one face-up monster without a level on the field. For the rest of this turn, any battle damage from battles involving that target is halved. It cannot be activated its effects or be destroyed by battle. Also, its attack becomes 0. Wait, what? Neither player can activate the effects of monsters without a level in response. So it stops Xyz and Link monsters? Target one face-up monster without a level on the field for the rest of this turn. Any battle damage is halved. It can activate its effects or be destroyed by battle. Also, its attack becomes 0. It's not a Floodgate like Fallen of Argosius. This isn't a Floodgate. This is like an imperm that only works on Links and Xyz monsters. It's ultra niche. Yeah. This is a very niche imperm. Technically not a Floodgate. I'm not sure how this got on here. So let's go to the next one. I'm just gonna put this one at the very end. We're not gonna rate it. Goblin of Greed. As long as this card remains face up on your side of the field, neither player can activate an effect by discarding from his or her hand. It stops effects that discard. Wow. It has 1000 attack, 1800 defense. It's a dark world counter. It's a dark world. It's a danger counter. Literally a danger counter. This is so funny in how incredibly specific it is, because it only works against like incredibly specific archetypes, because most decks don't discard for cost or like discard at all. Fable players hate this card. I guess it technically works versus tier limits. A lot of their cards discard. Like Shiren has a discard cost. I think whatchamacallit, Suliek? No, Crime has a discard cost. Not a cost, it's part of the effect, but they can't discard, so they can't use them. Brandon can't Lubellion. I think even Rhinoheart has a discard, doesn't it? That Goblin could be useful in this event. Does it work versus Labyrinth, though? Oh, Labyrinth, because they can't use Torby or Chandelier. You guys are giving me lots of... Oh, yeah, because Ash Blossom is a discard, technically. It's an anti-hand trap. Because they technically discard themselves. An easy D tier? I think this might... I thought this would be a little bit higher, but honestly, you guys are giving me lots of good suggestions about cards it stops. This card is cracked. See, no, it's honestly good against a lot of like meta decks and cards. A lot more than I thought it would be. Does it stop Maxi? No, Maxi sends from the hand of the graveyard. It doesn't discard. That's why you can't use it under like a Macrocosmos. However, you can use Ash Blossom under Macrocosmos because it technically discards. Yeah, this is way ahead of its time. Next up, we have Grisalian Prison. Grisalia Prison. Excuse me. If you control a face-up monster that was tribute, ritual, or fusion summoned until the end of your opponent's next turn, neither player can synchro or Xyz summon. Synchro and Xyz monsters cannot attack. Also, their effects are negated. Wait, what? So if you control a tribute summon monster, a ritual monster, or a fusion monster, you can stop your opponent from using synchros or Xyz monsters. So it's like an incredibly specific D barrier that actually has restrictions to it. No, it's like a balanced version of D barrier. Yeah. Because you need to control a specific type of monster in order to use it, and it only stops 2 specific types of monsters, which are Synchros and Xyz monsters. It's basically a worse D barrier. And D barrier's pretty good. We'll put this one in, I don't know, put it in B tier. Even though this is probably a C tier card. It does stop Synchros and Xyz, which is pretty decent. Like, if you can use this in one of these decks that uses Tribute Summon monsters or Fusion Summon monsters, or the other ones, and then you want to stop the other ones, it could be a side deck card, I guess. Imagine being a fair D barrier. Yeah. This is the card in Duel book where the guy says no Xyz or no Synchros. Monarchs or heroes? Yeah, I was thinking monarchs, heroes, or branded. Anyways, next up we have Ground Collapse. You select 2 main monster zones, and neither player can use them. This is kind of an awful Floodgate. I'm going to put this one in A tier. It makes it so your opponent can't use 2 of their monster zones. It is a Floodgate. It does stop stuff. Like, if your opponent wants to pop off, being stuck under 3 zones does kind of stop them a bit, but they can probably summon something to get rid of it with those zones and then just continue their combos from there. It will slow them down a little bit, but not enough where it matters. So we'll put it in A. Is it really A tier? I mean, this card is worse than Gear. I don't know if it's worse than these cards, though. I'm going to put it right next to them in B tier. You guys want this in A tier? Keep in mind, they have 4 with the extra monster zone. Yeah, I guess that's true. Those rare Floodgate has benefits having multiple copies on the field. Yeah. If you have like 2 of them, it's good. But if you only have 1, it's not that bad. Okay, yeah, I'll put it in A tier. This is an A tier terrible Floodgate. Next up, we have Jurassic Impact. If you control 2 or more dinosaur monsters and your LP is lower than your opponent's LP, destroy as many monsters on the field as possible. And if you do, take 1,000 damage for each monster destroyed. Then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you took. Until the end of the next turn after this card was activated, neither player can normal or special summon. Whoa. This is Dynamorphia support. How come Dynamorphia doesn't play this card? And if you do, take 1,000 damage for each monster destroyed. Oh, that's why. And then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you took. Yeah, you take too much damage from this. It stops special summons for a few turns, but then you take too much damage based on the cards destroyed. And then you can't summon monsters, which means your Dynamorphias don't float. Being a trap doesn't make it worse. It seems bad. No, you want to use this during your opponent's turn, so being a trap is fine. What if you upstart? I guess you could upstart. If you control 2 more dinosaur monsters and you upstart, you can blow up everything and then floodgate your opponent for a turn. But it floodgates you too. Until the end of the next turn after this card is activated. So if you use this during your opponent's turn, it's going to stop them that turn, and it's going to stop you on your next turn, and then your opponent will be able to summon first. So you'd want to use it during your turn to wipe out your opponent's board, and then you'd be able to summon first. So if you use this in order to disrupt your opponent during their turn, then it just locks you in a worse position than it does your opponent. So it's funny that this trap card is more useful if you use it during your turn. Couldn't Dynamorphia negate the effect damage, or would it negate the whole card? I don't know. The fact that your life points will be lower than your opponent stops most cheese. This would otherwise be. Too bad. It would have been a funny pseudo. I think this card has potential because it stops normal and special summons for a turn. I'm going to put this in C tier. Can you negate the actual destruction? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works. I think you can just prevent taking damage for the turn. But I don't know if that makes it for so this card doesn't work. And I think the Down Warfare cards only work on your opponent's cards, not your cards. Next up, we have Nightmare Corruptor Eebly. I don't know what this card's on this list. This is an excellent Floodgate. We're going to put this in D tier. I'm not going to read this. Next up, we have Lightning Rod Lord. Neither player can activate spell cards during the main phase 1. That's actually pretty good. We'll put this in D tier. Because everybody uses spell cards, especially during the main phase. They can just go to the main phase 2, but like they lose half their turn, basically. And it's 1800 attack. It has no other restrictions. This could be searched out with, what is it? Watt Unicorn? Like Watt Seahorse, I think. Yeah, in a battle phase. Mind Drain. Activate paying 1,000 life points. Neither player can activate the effects of monsters in the hand. This stops hand traps. That's pretty decent for this list. Next up, we have Mutually Assured Destruction. Both players must keep their hands revealed this turn. While their hands are revealed by this effect, if they both have a card with the same name in their hand, neither player can activate cards with that name or their effects. Oh, so if you have like Floodgates, your opponent can't use Floodgates. No, not Floodgates, hand traps. So basically, yeah, it stops dangers too because it has their hands revealed. Mutually Assured Destruction. Yeah, respect play. No, but it also has a negate if you share the same cards in your hand. So if you're playing a mirror match... It's a normal trap card. Mirror match. Oh my god, this would play so good in my mirror match labyrinth deck. I gotta write this card down. Mutually Assured Destruction. Okay, well, in a mirror match, it's not half bad. So we're gonna put this in B tier, C tier. Next up. Mystical Fairy Elfuria. Once per turn, mutually assured, not a fur. Shut up. Once per turn, you can reveal one wind monster in your hand. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, neither player can XC summon using monsters at a different level from the revealed monster as XC's material. So, reveal level 4. Your opponent can't go into level 4 XCs. It's a decent Floodgate. Seems a little bit too specific, and the card itself can't special summon itself. So, like, what deck could even play this? It's not part of an archetype. She's beautiful, though. This is nice artwork, but it seems to be wasted on a card. With a different level. Wait. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, neither player can XC summon monsters using monsters at a different level from the revealed monster as XC's material. Oh, that makes it way better. So if this is played like a level 3 deck, because it's level 3, and you reveal a level 3 wind monster in your hand, then your opponent can't play any cards unless they're level 3. That's much better, actually. Magispector support? Oh, I guess Magispectors could use it, right? No, Magispectors, their scales are like 3 and 5, aren't they? That's not half bad. I'll put this in D tier. Next up. Night Flight. Target one face-up monster you control. Return that face-up monster to the hand. And if you do, for the rest of this turn, neither player can activate cards or effects with the return card's name. This card actually kills sprite. Yeah, it does. So, wow, this card is actually worse than the Designator card. Because you need the monster on the board in order to do it, and it only works for one turn. So you bounce back one card to your hand, and then you can stop your opponent from using the effects of that specific card. But really, this is meant so that you can return a card to your hand without gating its effect. So it's like a very worse compulse. This card is ridiculously awful. Oh my god, I'm going to put this in S tier. Normal summon Ash Blossom. Return it to your hand. This card is so awful. I'm going to put it in S tier. Of just like awfulness. We haven't had a truly awful card in a long time. So like, thank goodness for Night Flight. Next up, we have Numeral Hunter. If this card is summoned, return all number Xyz monsters on the field to the extra deck. Neither player can special summon number Xyz monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle with an Xyz monster. This card is unaffected by the effects of Xyz monsters. There's a lot of number Xyz monsters in the game. That's not half bad. But like, how many people end on a numbered Xyz monster, you know? I guess technically D tier, but it's really not that good. Numeron Dragon. Who ends on a Numeron Dragon? I'm gonna put this in C tier. It's not that great. Kaito. Who's a Kaito? Most of these cards are too good to be on worse Floodgates. Yeah, that's why they're in D tier. Honestly, a lot of the cards in D tier are not good Floodgates. It's just compared to the other much worse Floodgates, they seem very good. Like, all the cards in D tier, when compared to the good Floodgates, would be awful. It's just like, on this list, they look very competent. Yeah, Eebly really shouldn't be on this list. I don't know why it's in this. Okay, next up. I made this list myself. It's more like, I don't know why past me put Eebly on this list. Next up, we have Pendulum Area. If all monsters you control are Pendulum monsters, min 1, target 2 cards in your Pendulum zones, destroy both cards. And if you do, neither player can special summon for the rest of this turn except by Pendulum Summon. So if you use this during your opponent's turn, you can stop them from summoning that turn, unless they're playing a Pendulum deck. So this basically gives Pendulums a Floodgate. That's not half bad. We'll put this in D tier. See? Yeah, it's not half bad. Like, you pop your scales and your opponent can't summon this turn. It's also searchable. Yeah, because it has Pendulum in its name. And, like, the only thing is you can, if all monsters you control are Pendulum, like, there are some decks that only end on Pendulum monsters and nothing else. That's honestly really good. Yeah, that's not half bad. You can only control Pendulums? I know you can only control Pendulums. That's why it's probably not used. Because a lot of Pendulum decks also end on a, like a Link monster or something. But if you're playing a Pendulum deck that only ends on Pendulum monsters, like, I don't know, Endymion, then you basically just have a free Floodgate on your opponent's turn. Can't Valiants? Valiants also go into, like, Fusion monsters. But I guess Fusion Pendulum monsters. Oh, I guess Valiants could play it. Pens always end on Links and Xyz? Yeah, most of them do. Most of the good ones, I should say. Isn't it searchable Blueless Alliance? Yeah, because it has Pendulum in its name. So we're going to just put it in D tier. It's not half bad. Next up, we have Photon Cerberus. Level 3 Beast. During the turn this card was normal summoned, neither player can activate trap cards while this card is face up on the field. Well, the card stats are garbage. It takes up your normal summon, and it's only trap cards during your turn. A Labyrinth counter? I guess it's a terrible Labyrinth counter. I'm going to put this in B tier. That's not very good. Maybe... This is terrible. I'm using this during the event. You can't because it's a beast monster. It's not a fiend or a fairy. Yeah, it's only for one turn and only the turn that's normal summoned. So, like, usually your opponent's using trap cards during your turn anyway, so that's a little bit more useful than you would think. Next up, Power Filter. Neither player can special summon monsters with 1,000 or less attack. Normally, against all of the Floodgates in the game, this is terrible. However, against all of these garbage Floodgates, this seems amazing. We're putting it in D tier. Quiet Life. Activate this card at the start of main phase 1. If you control no monsters, if a player normal summons or sets, they can't special summon. If they special summon, then they can't normal summon. Quiet Life is a decent Floodgate. It's just compared to normal Floodgates, it's garbage. But compared to these Floodgates, it's amazing. Basically, if your opponent uses their normal summon, then they can't special summon this turn. And if they special summon, then they can't normal summon. Not half bad. Next up, we have Reptilian Servant. Neither player can normal summon while this card's face up on the field. Also, if there's another face-up monster on the field other than this card, destroy this card. And also, if it's targeted by the effects of spell or trap cards, destroy this card. Yeah, you really need Cherubini for this. But while it's out, neither player can normal summon a monster. You see, unlike Aurora Paragon has the effect where if a monster is normal summoned, then it has the effect to destroy itself once. So you can use By Order of the Emperor to stop Aurora Paragon from destroying itself. However, this card is like the Burning Abyss monsters where it constantly tries to destroy itself if its condition is met. So By Order of the Emperor wouldn't stop it. Hey, look, you put this in one of your decks? I did put in one of my decks, but I didn't actually, like, finish the deck. Wasn't this from the 5Ds anime with the mirror wall? I don't know. Maybe. Someone else in chat might be able to answer that. So, yeah. Anyways, let's put this card in A tier. It's awful. I just realized there's no monsters in the field. It means your opponent can't summon monsters either. So if they just special summon once, then the card is donezo. And since it can't be targeted by spells or traps, you can't even like equip it with an equip spell card so that it can go hog wild. If this locks special summons 2, it might not... Yeah, if it's locked special summons 2, it'd be way better. But like 100 attack, its stats are just so awful. If it had better stats, it honestly might be better too. Next up... Wait. Targeted by the... Yeah, it's only targeted. So I guess you can use boosters as long as they don't target this card. But there's not a lot of good ones that don't target. That give them high boost. Yeah, A is fine. Next up, we have Simul Archfiends. This turn, neither player can special summon monsters with the same card types, rituals, fusions, synchros, Xyzs, or links they already control. If you do not control 2 or more of the same card types, ritual, fusion, synchros, Xyzs, or link, all ritual, fusion, synchro, Xyzs, and link monsters you control gain 500 attack. You can only use one of these effects per turn. So if your opponent has like a fusion monster out, then they can't fusion summon for the rest of the turn after you use this. Or if they link monster out, they can't link summon. That's pretty good. It doesn't stop the lock until after they get a monster out. And also, if you have some of those cards out, then you get an attack boost. So D tier. I wouldn't say it's very good versus just like a D barrier, but like it's not half bad. Next up, Soundproofed. This card can only be activated at the start of main phase 1, and only if you control no face-up synchro monsters. Neither player can special summon a synchro monster until your opponent's next end phase. Soundproof is an easy D tier. This card seems like it's garbage. It just stops synchro summons for one turn. You could use Discord to stop synchro summons forever. This is a worse Discord. I think this is a worse Discord. I'm going to put this in B tier. It still stops synchros, which is not that bad. This actually saw play versus Sword Soul? Really? And if you control no phase-up synchro monsters, neither player can special summon synchro monsters until your opponent's next end phase. It's lingering like Abyss Dweller is, but bad because it only lasts one turn. Lingering, you use this, you break your opponent's board, they can't do anything on the next turn. If you use Discord, they can just pop it during the end phase. Meh. Well, if this was actually played, we'll put it in D tier. Next up, we have Sour Scheduling Red Vinegar Vamoose. Activate this card only if your opponent controls a card set in this card's column. Return all of the cards in this card's column to the hand. Neither player can use the unused zones in this card's column. But comparatively, it is a spell. So it only locks out cards within its column. Yeah, column control card. That's not very good. But how not very good is it? Is this S tier or A tier not good? Because it does block... I mean, if you can use this in order to block a pendulum zone. But it only works if they already have a card in the zone. I guess this could technically counter pendulum decks, now that I'm thinking about it. So it's a little bit better than I was initially thinking. Bestow as a spell wouldn't even be very good unless it was very searchable. Yeah. Be careful, there's a spider on the loose. Where? I'd rather play Tiamation. Wait, B tier, it counters links and pendulums. Yeah, I don't know if it counters links unless you already have like a link monster out. But it does counter pendulums. I guess it can counter links if you're careful about it. I guess because it also works on the extra monster zone and the back row, which ground collapse doesn't, it's a little bit better. We'll put this in D tier. Next up, holy crap, girl, where are your pants? Spellbreaker of the Ice Barrier. Once per turn, you can send one Ice Barrier monster from your hand to the graveyard. Neither player can activate spell cards until the end of your next turn while this monster is face up on the field. Wait, so something goes higher on this list the worse it is? Yes, exactly. It's an anti-list. It's a lock on spell cards, but it requires ice barriers. And she also needs to stay alive for the lock to remain in place. So with the discard of an ice barrier monster, and she has to like survive. But ice barriers actually are pretty good at summoning other ice barrier monsters, so getting on the field is not that hard. Good morning. Hello there, good morning. I would put this probably in C tier. It's a very good lock. Stopping spell cards is pretty good. She gets pants in the TCG. I'm pretty sure she was definitely censored in the TCG release. If this was a quick effect, it'd be broken. Yeah, it'd be much better as a quick effect. Ice barriers are good at. Nobody's ever said that in their life. Next up, we have Synchro Zone. Neither player can declare an attack with non-synchro monsters. You can only use each of the following effects of Synchro Zone once per turn. If a non-tuner synchro monster is sent to your graveyard, you can target one of them, special summon it, and if you do, it is treated as a tuner monster. During your opponent's main phase, you can send this face-up card you control in your spell and track zone to the graveyard, immediately after dissolve, synchro summon one monster using the monsters you control. Damn, this card's good. D tier. It's like Fire Prison, but for synchro monsters. And it also allows you to synchro during your opponent's turn. Sheesh. These floodgates sure hate synchros? No. This is, like, synchro support. D tier. Is there an F tier? No. Tyrant's Temper. Tribute one monster to activate this card. All face-up monsters on the field that you own are unaffected by other trap cards. That's not that bad. The cost is a little bit too harsh. I'm going to put this in C tier. As far as floodgates go, this isn't even really a floodgate. It's more of a protection card. Next up, activate by tributing one monster. Neither player can special summon level 6 or higher monsters. If you control 3 more cards in your hand, destroy this card. Saw play in Duel Links when meta was staple. I'm trying to think. It's pretty easy to keep your hand under 3 cards. And there's a lot of good decks that play lots of high-level monsters. However, tributing a card is pretty tough. Tyrant's Tummy Ache. Tributing a card is not that tough, though. I'll put this in C tier. Yeah, this counters Branded. It also counters Sword Soul. It counters Kashtira. I think there's just like other cards that stop high-level monsters better than this one. Next up, we have World Legacy Cliffhanger. When an attack is declared involving 2 link monsters, shuffle all monsters in the field and graveyard into the deck. For the rest of this turn, if this card resolves, neither player can link summon monsters. Neither player can link summon, and all I need are 2 link monsters to attack. It's not very good, but it's not bad. It's like too specific. I'll put this in C tier just because it's too specific, even if it's a decent effect, I guess. Yeah. And then this card isn't a floodgate. Okay, that's the list. This looks about right. Gotta make a recognition. Add Steern Dire and Mischief of the Gnomes to the list. The Mischief of the Gnomes is great. It stops Sprite. Yeah, Call Me Magic is the worst. Where would you put Legacy of the Duelist on this? I wouldn't put on this list. Legacy of the Duelist is great. Actually, 3 to 4 cards are not floodgates. They're all floodgates. Eye of Truth is on this list? No, I love Eye of Truth. Oh, look, Zeus is a trap card form. Hi, shut up. Cactus Bouncer is great. Okay, that's the tier list. Guys, my throat hurts. I don't think I can do any more segments because I need to rest my throat. We were supposed to do sub replay. Oh, Thursday. It's supposed to be Tuesday. And the streams, yeah. Are you dehydrated? No. Water doesn't really help with my throat hurting in this way. I just need to rest it. The thing is, when I do sub replays, I yell too much. And when I stream Yu-Gi-Oh, I yell too much. And like, I need to just rest it so I can record some more scripts tomorrow. And when I was doing everything else, I raise it too much. My throat is just kind of hurting. I took some cough drops and it still hurts after them. And if I keep going, I'm going to ruin it and I won't be able to record anything tomorrow. And I think I'm already at that point. Like, I think I've already ruined my throat. I think I'm at the point where it hurts too much and it's probably going to hurt tomorrow. But I'd rather not ruin it even more. So I'm going to have to end the stream here a little bit early. Did you do voice warm-ups and cooldowns? No. No, but I did record 2 scripts earlier today. Did you see the new Hollow Ian New Generation announcement? I sure did. Yeah, I know. Who plays Yu-Gi-Oh quietly? The thing is, if I could play Yu-Gi-Oh quietly and be entertaining, I would keep streaming. But I've done that once before, and unless I can yell, I'm very boring. Because I just, like, I'm too conscious of not raising my voice, so I hold back too much. Not to say yelling is entertaining in itself, it's just like I hold back too much. No Ori tonight? I finished Ori last night. Were you not there? I can't believe you missed my video. Where's Visa Starfrost Part 2? Oh, I need to record this audio for that tomorrow. Like, the script's done. Okay, then good night, TheDuelLogs. See you later, loser Luis. Goodbye, loser Luis. I'm glad you were here, loser Luis. No one else. Wait, actually, let me see. Users in chat. And it looks like Meowie and Maple are lurking. You too. You guys... No, just Meowie, not Maple. And loser Luis. Okay, who else is streaming right now? There's Mogu and Kira. And Nim Nim. You know, Stim told me, she's like, man, I like this guy named Nim Nim. He explains his moves, and it's really good for me as a new player learning the game. However, he's playing Hearthstone, though. If he was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Jade is doing a subathon? Is she? How come she's not on my list? Well, it's because it only shows the top 5. Subathon? Is she playing Yu-Gi-Oh? It's Yugi time. Okay. I'm probably going to go watch Mogu and Kira anyway. But they're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Dumog. Gage is cool? Yeah. But it looks like no Jade is doing a subathon. Trishula TTV? Is that the one who's been teaching Miwa? I have to go early tonight because my throat hurts. I'm going to order some hot chocolate on DoorDash because my throat really hurts. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Unless my throat hurts, and I'll cancel stream. But I should be fine.